Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm creating this fierce look and share my second round of first impressions with you on this eyeshadow palette. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's give this brand another chance. This was the first indie brand that did me really dirty as far as making my eyes burn really bad, which made me so sad because I purchased the Sydney Grace Enduring Love palette and the Tiny Marvels palette at the same time when Mel was still alive, rest her soul. So yeah, but then after I got my palette and I tried the Sydney Grace one first because I don't know why, I did. It just looked less intimidating. It looked less intimidating. I'm tripping on my tongue. That palette just looked less intimidating. And so I tried that one first before, like I was trying to work my way up because the Sydney Grace one with Mel Thompson was really like an adventurous palette for me, okay? And anyway, so I had a terrible reaction and I was just like, oh my God. And then I was so sad because I wasn't going to be able to, I wasn't sure if I should create a look with the Tiny Marvels one. And then as I was debating that, Mel Thompson passed away. And I've literally never had the heart to touch either of these palettes ever since, especially because this one hurt my eyes. But I was afraid that this one might hurt my eyes and that would break my heart even further because I really didn't want to be let down by Mel's collab because I loved Mel. I still love Mel. I miss Mel so much. She was literally a ray of light every single day in my life. So although this brand like irritated my eyes severely, I still hold like a special place in my heart, wishing that I could play with these palettes. And I feel really left out not being able to know which palettes have whatever ingredients it is that I'm reacting to. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. This palette is so pretty. Okay, so these were the shades that I used. I used these pinker shades. I used all of these pink shades here with a little bit of that blue, I think. And those were the shades that irritated my eyes. So I'm going to try to avoid all of the colorful shades in this palette. And I'm going to just play with the neutrals today and see if maybe I can get some use out of this palette just playing with the neutrals. Now that I have a little bit more eyeshadow experience and experience with palettes and different brands, I know now typically with indie brands, it's the pinks and the purples that, or like some of the browns that have like a red base that end up irritating my eyes. More than likely, those are the ones that are going to cause me problems. So I'm going to try to avoid that and see if I can get some use out of this palette. So today I'm going to create a really beautiful neutral look. And the reason why I'm even trying this palette again to begin with, it's because, well, because I haven't been able to get these palettes out of my mind for years now, and I haven't been able to play with them, and it just really hurts my heart that I can't even like play with this one. But anyway, the main reason is because you might be able to see, let me show you. You see those palettes over there? Sorry if the angle changed. You might be able to see that stack of palettes there in the corner, and I realized, well, I didn't realize it on my own. Okay, I'm going to get started now on the look. After filming my eyeshadow palette showdown round 1, I was so excited and so proud of that video. Not sure why, since nobody has watched it hardly. I put so much time and effort into that video and I was so excited about it. I'm still excited about it. You know, I love that video and I had so much fun. It was like one of my most favorite videos that I've ever filmed so far. But nobody's watched it. And that makes me so sad because I just really thought that palette, I just really thought that that video would get a little bit more traction than it has. I mean, like, my channel doesn't really gain traction for most of my videos in general. So like, it's not like I expected it to or whatever, but like I was just kind of hoping that other people would enjoy that video the way that I enjoyed that video. Like I had so much fun creating it. Anyway, yeah, so I figured out after telling my husband about how sad I was that my video flopped. um, he told me, he was like, wait, you did how many palettes? And I told him I was like 112. And he was like, you can't do a tournament with 112 palettes. And I was like, why not? And then I started trying to like do the math of when it narrows down. Cause like now it's down to 56. Now it's down to 56 palettes in the competition. He was like, think about it. I was like, oh, wait. After this next round, it's going to be down to 23. And that leaves me an uneven number. So I won't be able, I won't be able to keep competing. Like, it throws it off balance. I was like, how am I going to fix that? And he was like, you need 16 more palettes. And I was like, I can't add 16 more palettes. I was like, do I even have 16 more palettes that I've used? I was like, I don't think I do. And then I remembered, yeah, I forgot to include my influencer collab palettes in my showdown, the round 1. And so, of course, I want those to compete, the ones that I have used. I wouldn't be able to use the Sydney Grace Tiny Marvels one because, again, I haven't used it yet. But, okay, so far, these mats are really nice and lovely, these neutral ones. But, wow, they're a super buildable formula. And I prefer just a little bit more Padal. Maybe it's because I'm using super soft shades, but yeah, I'm just kind of sharing my opinions along the way. Okay, I'm gonna deepen it up a little bit with this slightly warmer brown. So I went looking and I realized I have a stack of influencer collabs. Plus I have like almost a dozen palettes or more that I have pulled out of my rotation, like my active palette collection, just because they got a little bit old, but they're still in my collection and I did use them. And of course, like I loved them because I used them, you know? And so I was like, I actually could include those palettes. And so when I did the counting, I was like, short 1. Like I had already started using some of my new palettes to add to the mix, which you may have already seen one of those videos go up. I had got a new palette from Tarte, the Glamazon, and so that was one of the palettes that I started using. I honestly thought I wasn't going to be able to start filming the second batch of, like the second round of the palettes and stuff until after I used 16 new eyeshadow palettes from my drawer of unused palettes. I was like, whoa, how am I really going to do that? And then I was like, no, I could just use some of the palettes that I've used in the past. All right, I'm gonna take now a little bit of this kind of beigey, rosy matte here and just try to warm up a little bit of the inner part of my crease here for a little bit of brightness towards the front of the eye. I'm hopeful that that's not one of the shades that has too much like pink in it or red to where it'll irritate my eyes. So let's just hope not. But I'm just kind of mixing that over into the cool tones to create like a gradient effect. Like this palette is super old. I'm sure everybody in the world has already gotten all the tutorials in the world that they want out of it. But it's new to me, so let me live. Well, kind of new. Like I've only played with it one time. I'm going to use this really pretty, like, swampy green, olivey green shimmer in light of the fact that I'm trying this palette in March. I mean, that's okay, I guess. Let me try to just blend that into the crease a little. That's kind of cool. For the inner corner area, I'm going to use this shade here. It's kind of the lightest shade besides the pink, and I'm a little bit afraid to try this one, but I'm probably going to. Ooh. Wow. Look at that shade. I'm so glad I went with that one. That's beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to be wearing this eye look today, and if my eyes don't get irritated, then this palette is literally going to be going back into my rotation, and I'm going to reclutter it into my collection. Anyway, okay, yeah, so I do really like the way this looks. And I absolutely love this Rose and Ben E27 brush for my inner corner highlight. And for a lot of other things too, but I love it for the inner corner highlight. Just gonna take this clean little Sigma blender, E27, and just kind of soften that into the look so it's not so like linear. That did kind of put a little bit of a cast like from the side. Yeah, it is a little bit dark. That shade is a little dark. Okay, so I'm gonna try to counter that. Try this kind of like champagne-y rosy tone. I'm only gonna put that here on the outer edge, like where, yeah, that did not help. That just made it more dark. Okay, so I don't like the way that shade looks on the inner corner because like it's making me look like I have really dark under eye circles. I mean, I hear that the kids today are doing that look on purpose, that's like a trend. So maybe I look trendy. I don't know, but I'm not trying, like I'm not a trendy girl. I've never cared to be. So I don't know about all that. But now I'm going to go into this really dark shade for the lower lash line. I mean, I might as well just lean all the way into this super dark under eye look now. Especially since I didn't add any corrector before I started playing with this palette, which in hindsight probably would have helped a lot. But we're just gonna lean into this like grungy under eye look for like a bit of a moody vibe. Well, there's the look. There's my look with the Sydney Grace palette, not being able to use any of the bright fun colors, but I do want to see if I can just add a little bit of brightness by using this shimmer or whatever it is, that metallic shade on top of this dark one. I'm just going to put it here like for a little bit of a spotlight over the eye. Ooh, yeah, that was what I needed. That brightened up the eye just enough to keep it from being too dark to where it like makes my eyes look closed. See the difference? Really like what that little champagne did. It just made like such a nice little addition into the look. Just kind of highlighted the area right above my eye. That was it. That was what I needed. Now I'm just going to take a clean blender and soften up all of my edges. Just because I'm really going to lean into that whole like messy makeup look. Okay. And I feel like the vibe really goes great with my rock concert shirt. So here's the finished eyeshadow look with this palette. I'm gonna go off camera and add some blush, bronzer, eyeliner, mascara, and I'll be right back to show you the completed look of the day and share my second round of second impressions. Share my second impressions of this palette with you. Okay. Have you seen my video on this hairbrush and like how to brush your hair properly? Yeah, if you haven't, I'll leave that up here in the eye down below in the description box for you to check it out. There we go. Okay. All right. Didn't even do anything with the brows. I'm not even gonna fill them in. I'm just gonna like keep them up. Just not feeling it today. I don't feel like messing with it. And I'm fortunate enough that my brows can pass on their own. They don't look the best, but they look pretty good. Okay. All right, friends. Here's the finished look. Feeling pretty fierce on this Frisky Friday. That's gonna do it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. Before I do check out, let me tell you how I feel about this palette. I like it so far. I really wish that I could use some of the colorful shades because that's really where the beauty in this palette comes from. But for like a fun, grungy, neutral, everyday look, I could get down with this palette. So yeah, as long as this eyeshadow like doesn't irritate my eyes over the next couple of hours, I'm gonna go run some errands and wear it for the day. As long as everything goes off smoothly, then this eyeshadow palette is gonna be making it back into my collection, and expect to see looks with it in the future. So yeah, now that's gonna do it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to click the like button. It really does help my small channel out so much. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel before you go, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.